Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Missy, and today I'm coming at you with my March wrap-up and favorites all combined together for one video. So let's start off with the wrap-up. I read 12 books, 4 of them were print, and 8 of them were audiobooks. There was a couple I kind of flipped back audio and print, but I called them audio because that was primarily how I read them. I read a total of 4,316 pages, so significantly less than the rest of the year so far. We all have been on that same boat that our minds have had trouble concentrating on books, and life has been different, and we're all adjusting to our new current normal. So I definitely consider that the reason that my reading has been down. So the first one I read was, If I'm Being Honest, and I read this for the Spring Into Reading-a-thon, read-a-thon. I gave this one a 3. It was okay. It was a kind of a modern retelling of Taming of the Shrew, and so in that aspect, like, she needed to be a big old bee, but it just, I don't know, I felt like there was holes in it. I did like her character arc, so I think that's what kept me with it. And her learning how to be yourself and, like, not be so dependent on others, or, like, trying to fit into others' boxes of her. But I didn't always love the writing. I didn't love a lot of the characters. So this one was kind of a hit or miss for me. The next one I read was actually the first one that I read this month, and that was Gloom Town. Honestly, it feels like a lifetime away. So much has changed since the day I read that book. But that one was cute. It was a middle grade. It was this town where everything was just dark and dreary and nobody was happy, and this boy whose mother, his father is, like, gone. They think he's passed away, and his mom is having a hard time making ends meet, so he takes a job with this, like, richer man in the community and starts to realize that something fishy is going on, and him and his best friend try to start solving it and get themselves into trouble. His mom has this amazing group of friends that are just the craziest characters. So I did enjoy it. I gave that one a 4. It was really fun adventure, especially to start the month. Like, it was a good way to introduce myself to March. The next one I gave 4 stars was, and I think I maybe actually did return this one to the library before everything went down, was To Best the Boys. And this one I did listen to the audiobook. I enjoyed it. I think I did better with the audiobook on this one. Sometimes the historical books I read better, or I understand better when they're read to me. It had Stalking Jack the Ripper vibes for me. It was a girl who liked the aspect of trying to science and figuring out a cure, because there was, like, a plague, and there is a school where only boys get to go to it, but she decides that she's going to enter this race to get to the school. So essentially it's like a labyrinth that you have to use your brain for and figure out all these parts, and then the winner gets to go to the school, pretty much. So there's some twists and turns in there, and actually I was really surprised. I think it was like 3/4 of the way in before I even got to the actual maze part of the story, and I really like that story. But there was a cute, like, romance in it. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I definitely, like, was missing some of the things that I thought it would have. Like, I was really interested and thought this maze was going to be pretty cool, and it was done pretty fast, and I don't know, maybe I was in and out of the audio, but I felt like I was confused a little bit. The next one was Queen of Nothing. Finally read it. I had been holding off. I had this book for a while from Book of the Month, and I really, really love The Cruel Prince and Wicked King. So I just struggled going back into this, not knowing how it was going to end, because a lot of people didn't love it. And I kind of came out with, like, I gave it 4 stars. I loved being back with the characters, but it almost was just too good to be true. Like, it just ended up a little too wrapped up for me. So I don't know, I'd love Holly Black to go back into this world and take June and Carden into the next adventure of their lives. I did really enjoy this world. So I gave it 4 stars. I love them together and stuff, but it was just a neat little bow. Pretty much, kind of. Like, I mean, it was lackluster at the end. Like, things were going pretty good in the beginning, and then it kind of went meh. And then the last one I read was A Heart So Fierce and Lonely, and I did listen to this one. I do have it on ebook too, but decided to listen to it. I struggled to get into this one, though I started it the week that my life really started to change, where I had to move home for work. I had to daily fear if we were going to have daycare, or, you know, like, stuff was really starting to change for me. So I think that made me really struggle to get into the story because my head wasn't there. But when I finally got into it, I really enjoyed it. And I'm so excited for the next one, because if you've read this one, you know it kind of ends with a bang. And I honestly didn't see it coming, and I maybe should have. I don't know. But I really liked it. I liked Gray a lot in the first book. I am glad the romance didn't go where I thought it would go. I was a little worried that it was gonna be a love triangle thing, but it wasn't. I'm trying not to spoil it, but so yeah, I really did enjoy that one by the end, and I'm super excited for the next one. And then I had, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 5 5-star reads, and then like one of them was actually a whole series. So we're gonna move into the favorites of the month phase. So my first favorite was Amelia Fang. This is a new series to me. It's a middle grade, maybe even a little bit younger than that. Amelia is this cute little vampire. Her best friend is a yeti and a scythe, and she has got a pumpkin for a pet. And the author does the art in the book. It was love. Like, I loved it. I love the whole thing. I want to own the whole series. I'm actually going to read the second book for the Believe-a-thon. So in love with Amelia. I thought it was just the cutest little thing. It was cliche and witty, and I thought it was so cute. The series that I just loved and finally finished was Truly Devious. I had read the first 2 last summer and loved them, so I binged the entire series and I listened to all 3 of them. I love Stevie. I love the gang. Like, they're just so good, and maybe I wasn't excited about finding out the end of the mystery, but I loved everything else enough that was fine. Like, the way it all wrapped up was really good. I thought it was so interesting. You know, there was magic in the boarding school itself, and the mazes inside of it, and the secret hidden doors, and the, you know, push on a foot and a trap opens up. Like, all that stuff I seriously love. And yeah, just the quirkiness of all the characters, and the winter storm in the middle of it. Like, love it. So I really enjoyed that series. Definitely one I want to reread again in the future. The next one that I read, I don't know if I have it down here. The next one I read was Thunderhead, and seriously, I was sucked in, just like Scythe. I didn't know what I was getting into when I read Scythe. It was just like one of those booktube made me read it, and Thunderhead was so good. Like, I was wrecked. Like, had a really hard time starting another book after that one, especially with the ending. And I still haven't started the Toll. I need to. I don't have it on my April or May TBR right now, but I think I'll probably fit it in one of the months, just because I'm really ready to know, especially with the way that the Toll ended, or the Thunderhead ended. But just the mind of the Thunderhead, the politics of the world in general, like, it's kind of, yeah. And just the aspect of putting it into context with the world we're in, and the technology we use, and everybody, like, all my life is stored on the cloud right now, you know, like, it's very interesting. The next one that I loved, oh, I put it right here. It's The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I read and listened to this one, and honestly, I would totally say listen to it. I feel like I'm learning that Taylor Jenkins Reid's books I want to listen to, because they're done so well. The story of both Evelyn and Monique in here is really interesting, and then figuring out how they tie together, because it takes quite a while for you to get the two together. Just living through these decades, going through the transition into a more modern world that we have now, the judgment of just being a woman, the judgment of being not in control of who you can love, like, and then seeing the rise of like pride and like accepting that whoever you are, you can love whoever you are and however you want to be loved. So really enjoyed this one. And then finally was The Pinch of Magic. And this I read for the middle grade monthly for March. I actually still have a Secret of Sorcery because I did not get a chance to get to it, but I loved the girls so much. The sisters are so much fun. The little sister is obviously my favorite because she is just a little spitfire and tomboy. But I love the magic. I thought it was really fun. The living on an island thing, that always gets me, like a seaside town, something I love. So I'm super excited to continue with this series. And definitely going to share this one with my nephew because it's just so much fun and I think he'll like it. Those are all of my reads for March. I mean, it turned out pretty good. Like 3 was my lowest and I had quite a few 4s and 5s. So I had a really good reading month, all things considered. So let's move on to some of my favorites of the month. Is Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing has been my life since it came out. I had no idea what I was getting into, but it was like, I need this. Everybody's talking about it. I need something to take my mind off of life. And this is my world. Like, I want to play it all the time. I'm having such a hard time reading because I'm so excited to play Animal Crossing. I've been trying to do audiobooks with it. So, Animal Crossing, if you're on the edge, get it. The next thing is I found like my perfect makeup combination. So the first is the Fresh Fit. Let's see if we can get so you can see it. The Fresh and Fit Healthy Glow Pore Minimizing Effect Primer from Essence. So it's like pretty cheap. And then I do it with my Makeup Forever powder. You can already see I'm hitting pan on it. Sorry, blinding you. And I love this combination. I feel like my skin looks glowy and fresh and like a no makeup look. So I've been doing these two with that mascara from I think last month's favorites video, and that's pretty much my daily. I've been trying to kind of get ready still because it makes me feel more productive and just like that I'm starting my day instead of just getting up and going to my computer in my pajamas. My next favorite, it's been a favorite for a long time, and it's the Laneige Lip Singing Sleeping Mask. That's really hard to say. I love it. It's just like a creamy thick balm, but I use it every single night and I didn't have any cracked lips all winter long. Definitely love it. The next one is my Skinny Taste One and Done cookbook. I go to this cookbook all the time for recipes when I'm meal planning because it's like a one pan thing or Instant Pot, sheet pan. So I actually have my meal plan for next week and strictly out of here. So love this. And they're healthier recipes too. And then she modifies for gluten and gluten-free, probably dairy-free too. And then, and then the last thing that's been keeping me going is YouTube. So I just wanted to share some of my favorite YouTubers that I love to watch that are not necessarily booktubers, because I know we all love our booktube. That's why we're here. But there's a few that I watch religiously that are not booktubers. The first is Good Mythical Morning with Rhett and Link. It is now Monday, Wednesday, Friday because they're kind of putting in film shows, and then they're doing as much as they can separately in their houses. And I love them. They've been a staple every day, every morning of my life when I'm getting ready. They just make me happy. They're wholesome. They're hilarious. I love their whole staff. The Mythical Crew is amazing. So just a good laugh in the morning to get you going for your day. On that line, they have the Mythical Kitchen. Most of the time it's Josh. And then he does have a couple co-hosts now. And Josh is hilarious. I love the random things they cook. So I just like watch it even though like I'm never going to make this Cheeto apple pie, but I'm watching it. So Mythical Kitchen is the spin-off of that I really love too. The next one is the Sorry Girls, and they do DIY stuff. I just love them. They're the cutest little things. They're in Canada and they share their lives and just DIY like the craziest things and the coolest clothes. They like to thrift a lot, so I love those girls a lot too. Obviously the content right now is a little harder because of being quarantined, but go watch some past episodes, you can binge them, you'll love them. The next one I love is Taylor Wynn. She has a beauty channel. She lives in Seattle. She's so much fun. I love, like, she's just so down to earth and normal, and I trust everything that she says. So she's one of my favorite ones to watch. And the other one is Jessica Braun. And Jessica is a mom of a little girl, Genevieve. I think she's maybe almost 2, and she started as a beauty blogger but now is kind of more lifestyle, but I always like watching her lives. Her and her husband both do YouTube primarily as their whole business, and she's got some cute lifestyle stuff. She finds some fun products, and just sometimes it's fun to, you know, take a look into her life and see what's going on. So those are my March favorites and my March wrap up, and yeah, I am so excited that I'm currently in the Owls, and I will catch you later.